solemn season, and today in our feature story, we look at one of the pillars of Lent. Hello, with this week's feature story, I am Tessa Habet. Our feature story is brought to you by Enrique Martinez and Sons.
Enrique Martinez and Sons, your trusted source for cooling automotive. Belize is known to have high temperatures for the most part of the year, so why not buy an LG inverter air conditioner that can guarantee you 70% energy saving? It is without a doubt the cool way to beat the heat. Drive in or call us at 223-0490 or WhatsApp us at 606-4154.
Fasting is a central pillar of this sacred season of Lent. God commanded it, Jesus practiced it, the Church Fathers and the Saints highly recommended it and preached about its importance. Fasting is a powerful and fundamental practice in our faith. Would we fast more if we knew how helpful fasting can be in our lives? The experts of today and the saints who have already run the race of holiness gives a resounding yes to this question.
Because some people, who as Christians, we fast because we think we need to, if we fast, we get God's attention, we get His favor, or we get His love. And that's false, absolutely false. Why? Because you already have God's attention. You already have God's favor. He already loves you. We fast to grow in what they call self-mastery. What's self-mastery? Think about this. If you had to do everything that another person said, you couldn't say no to them, what would you be? You'd be a slave to that person. But there's some people we live our lives where we cannot say no to our senses. We cannot say no to our appetites. We cannot say no. When we want something, we have to get it. We have to do it. And when I try to get out of bed, I cannot say no to sleeping in. Therefore, what does that make us? If I can't say no, that makes us slaves. But Jesus Christ came to set us free. And to exercise that freedom, we have to be able to say no, not only to evil, but also even to legitimate pleasures. To be able to say no to ourselves is an incredible grace and an incredible gift, because that's what it is to be free. So one way in which we grow in self-mastery is through fasting. This ability to say, I'm hungry right now, but I don't have to say yes to this legitimate pleasures.
Fasting in its simplest form is abstaining from food and drink for a certain period of time. But the proper connotation of fasting is a devotional act done to bind and restrain our appetites in order to strengthen our relationship with God. In other words, fasting is not only about abstaining from food or drink, but anything that can hinder a deeper intimacy with God, including things that are legitimate pleasures, such as using the phone, chatting, watching television, etc. A healthy young adult, a pregnant woman, a diabetic, and person undergoing chemotherapy will all approach fasting differently. Some will not be able to fast at all.
See, sin divides us. It breaks us. It breaks our relationship with God. It breaks our relationship within ourselves, and it breaks our relationship with others. Fasting is the gift that God has given us, that we can help the brokenness that is within ourselves. My brothers and sisters, we're very broken right now. What you're seeing when people are talking about violence on the streets or families breaking up, or they begin to raise certain concerns that they have, things have changed in vague ways. What they're pointing to and recognizing are the symptoms of a brokenness. And the temptation is, okay, we need more programs, we need to go to the government, or we need more money, or we have to go abroad, or we need something new outside ourselves to solve all our problems, to heal our brokenness. And Lent's a wonderful opportunity to say, no. Yes, the programs can be nice, we need the civil leadership, but we need to heal our hearts. That which is evil comes out of the evil and the brokenness of our hearts. And so fasting is the gift that helps to heal precisely within us. See, the more free we become, we become healed, the more human we become, the more Christian we become. And that leads to a culture, a generation, to strong marriages, to strong families, to strong communities and strong institutions. But if in our hearts we have our passions overcome us, or we lack the fortitude to take on, to follow through on what we know to be true, if we are unable to persevere when things get difficult, how will we have virtue in our society? And what you're seeing here now is a lot, especially in the church, we're seeing people with great hearts. There's so many good people. We know this in our families and our cousins and in our community. There's such a goodness that's there. But we have to also admit at the same time, as much as we have this goodness, there's also an inability to carry out that goodness. Whereas at St. Paul, I do the things I don't want to do. I don't do the things I do want to do. This brokenness that St. Paul is referring to in the book of Romans, he talks about the effects of sin. We're called to be a child of God, to move in the freedom of the Lord. And to that, we must be healed. We need God's grace, but grace builds on nature. And so our nature as humans is body and soul. A human being has body and soul. Therefore, we glorify God, body and soul. Not just with our souls, not just with our minds, but with our bodies too. And so the whole Catholic Church, we enter into the discipline of Lent. We discipline our bodies. Not because there's something outside of ourselves, but they're a part of who we are. Because it's through the bodies we communicate love. And so fasting in this generation of brokenness is the response, is the gift that God gives us to help heal our hearts to return to love with our bodies.
Fasting from food is the most common practice nonetheless, and it does have a tremendous effect on a person's spiritual life and relationship with God. It amplifies one's prayer life, gives room in our souls for God to dwell in, and perhaps most importantly, it cultivates and sustains our intimacy with God. The grace received from it can even be extended to others for those in need, for the souls in purgatory, and for the entire church in reparation.
So I first heard about fasting from Father Scott during his sermon or his homily, and I really didn't pay much attention to it, because I said fasting, I was kind of hesitant to know more about it because I don't know what it entails. So like I said, that's not for me. I prefer stick to prayer, because it's easier, I guess. I did thought of it. I did contemplate about it, and I talked to one of my church sisters about it, and she was the one where she said, I do fasting myself, and she gave me like a rundown of it, what all it entails and how it helped her, it helped her a lot. So like I thought maybe I should give it a try.
Growing up, our parents and grandparents always used to mention the word fasting, especially during Lent. To be specific, on Good Friday, you cannot eat this or you can only have a meal. But I never paid much attention to it until when my mom got very ill.
Well, the thing that really made me say I'll try fasting was like my health, my life on a whole. I truly feel and sincerely feel that my life was not going the way how I thought God wanted it to be. It's so much trial, so much tribulation, and I thought, man, something, I know God didn't want this for me. This is not the plan He had for me. So, and I knew I had to put in some work, to meet that requirement, that state what God wanted me to be. So I thought about it, and that's where I cemented the deal with fasting.
The doctor had told us that she was not going to make it. many people came to us, they prayed for us and with us. And one person in particular said, maybe you need to fast. All her daughters need to fast. And I was like, can I do it? How will I go a whole day without eating? How will it benefit her? And we were told that, when we give up something, we pray, we will not even feel it. We get closer to God. So we decided not to eat, to do it, to do that fasting for our mom, because we wanted our mom to get better. We tried anything and everything. At first, when I woke up, I wanted to eat, and then I said, no, I will do it, I can do it, because if it was my mom who had to do the fasting for me, she would. And I did it. I didn't think about food. I prayed. And when you pray, you forget about the other things. And like a miracle, my mom got better. A week or two after we did the fasting, she walked like nothing. So I can say that God listened to us. As difficult as it may have seemed at the beginning, when I think about it, it wasn't difficult. It was one of the easiest things that I could have done for my mother. Even though she's no longer here with us, we saw that God listened to us.
I have been feeling really sick for like 3 years. 3 years I've been having this pain, this just bad feeling, this, oh my goodness, sometimes I just fight to get out of bed. And I started contemplating doing fasting, real fasting, so I said, okay, Lord, this is between me and you. And I started to fast. I started to, actually, again, following Father Scott's instruction, doing it on Wednesdays and Fridays. So I started to give up my breakfast. Like, I don't do breakfast. I pray instead, and from there it continued to not just having a cup of tea in the morning, no lunch, just going by water, and then in the afternoon I do a little snack, like one orange or one banana or something, like real fasting. Because I truly believe that I have to meet God halfway. If we are going to do this together, we are going to do it the right way. So I thought, I'm going to do it, but it wasn't easy. But thankfully, I have my church sisters, oh my goodness, they're tremendous help and support, and especially this one particular one, she was there, don't give up, it's not going to be easy, just stick on to it. I am with you. I am doing it along with you. So that gave me courage to continue to do it. And so I'm suffering with this pain, but I was in a good place because I have God with me. I am doing what I need to do, and I trusted Him with that. I trusted Him, and I said, Lord, I'm not going to question it no more. It's your timing, I'll just wait for your perfect timing. And so in December, at the end of November, it got so bad that I couldn't get out of bed. And I couldn't get out of bed. I was having fever, chills. And my children thought I had COVID, actually, like they started to stay away from me because they thought I had COVID. But I know what I was going through. I knew what I was going through, to the point where I couldn't get up, I couldn't eat, I wasn't eating. And the doctor had to come to my house. He had to come 2 times to my house. And he told me I needed to be hospitalized at that point. But, I was still praying, and doing my fasting as much as I could. I was still sticking on to it. And so when I went to the hospital, I was there for like a week. I got treated for this sickness and I was discharged. I went home. I still have the symptoms. I was still going through the chills and fever every day, but I keep trusting and I keep praying. And I remember coming to adoration on Sundays. I couldn't even say a prayer. I just sat there and I said, Lord, just breathe on me. Breathe on me. And I trusted Him with that. And so my friends, they were encouraging me, like they were offering me their family doctor. They were giving me doctor's phone number. Call this doctor, this one is better, this one. But I said, Lord, I don't just want to go to anybody. I trust in you and you will point me the way and you will handpick the person I am supposed to go to. So I stayed. And last week, I was not feeling well. So I went to talk to my pharmacist and she recommended this doctor to me. But something is different about it. Like I just feel it in my heart. I needed to get in contact with her. So I messaged her right away. She was messaging back and forth, and so I made the appointment the following day for the following day, which thankfully I did. And she ran tests that I think, and she found out something that had been overlooked by the other doctors, and she said, Zoila, this is what's happening to you. And I knew she had tapped onto something. I knew it because I could feel it in my being. And especially when she came and she said, the symptoms to this illness are these, and like she's reading the symptoms of my body. I like, wow, here you are, Lord. I know this is you. I know this is you. And so I truly and sincerely believe that God answered my prayer through fasting and keeping consistent with it. So right here, right now, as we speak, I'm just waiting for the result of a culture test to identify the exact strand of bacteria that I have, and treatment should start soon.
Of course, during this Lenten season, we fast mainly to journey into a deeper relationship with Christ. But fasting can also have its health benefits, and it is not imprudent to research on it and use it as a source of motivation. A fitting reminder comes from St. Augustine, who said, "Take care of your body as if it is going to live forever, and take care of your soul as if it is going to die tomorrow."
We have seen that there are a lot of people over-consuming meals, not only in terms to portions, but also in terms to calories and amount of times that we eat for the day, which is why some people would recur to fasting in order to help them, assist them with the weight loss, or even assist them in cutting down in specific calories, specifically when it comes to sugar intake and fat intake. There are many benefits of fasting, especially if you cut down on the meal where you tend to indulge in a lot, and that when you break your fast, you tend to eat more healthier foods. There has also been benefits in preventing you to weight gain. So even though you're not obese or you're not overweight, and you do fast or you cut down on the portions that you eat, that does allow you to prevent yourself from gaining weight, and also from developing any diseases related to obesity, for example, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol. For some people, they have found benefits in their mood, in their energy levels, in terms of concentration, in terms of any brain-related activity. We can find that eliminating a specific meal could help them in that aspect.
But there are different types of fasting.
1. Fasting prepares you for something truly great. Everyone in the Bible, from Elijah to Jesus, went into the desert and gave up food before beginning their public ministry, and everybody from Braveheart to Batman was cleansed in some way of all their worldly comforts before becoming truly great and who they were made to be. And don't you want to be more like Batman? 2. Fasting leads to spiritual breakthroughs. I can't say why, I can just promise you that it does. If you need a spiritual breakthrough in your life, a vice you can't shake and you need to change, you need greater clarity, you need to make a change in your life that's hard to make, you need grace unleashed in somebody else's life. This is a case throughout the Bible. God doesn't just tell us to pray, but to fast. It works. 3. The latest research is showing that intermittent fasting is actually physically good for you. So once again, the latest scientific research is showing that the people of God have had it right for 4,000 years. 4. Fasting wakes you up to your spiritual life. Eating is one of your most basic human functions, and so often we mask our spiritual hunger by putting food in our faces. Saying no to that breaks our basic attachment to worldly comforts and opens us up to a real spiritual hunger. And believe it or not, you need that awareness to have a real spiritual life. A healthy amount of fasting added to your spiritual routine can change your life. It is not fun. But the old rule of weightlifting applies here: no pain, no gain.
This form of penance is powerful and it can change your life forever. For instance, in the Gospel of Matthew, the disciples of Jesus could not drive out a demon that possessed a boy who threw himself into fire and water. Jesus, however, rebuked the demon and it fled out. Soon after, the disciples asked Jesus why they could not drive out the demon. To this, Jesus responded that they needed faith, but also something worthy of noting is that he also said that the type of possession can only be driven out by prayer and fasting. In essence, fasting is all about self-mastery, mortification of inordinate desires, worthy sacrifice and worship to God, and becoming his co-redeemers by allowing God to move more freely in our souls. It comes with physical bonuses, but they should be regarded as secondary motives. Whatever the case, this penance should be accompanied by prayer, and it should be practiced with prudence and love for God, with the aim to attain a more perfect union with Christ. As we journey through Lent, we pray that we may receive this grace for this season and beyond. And that's our feature story. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or view on Guadalupe Media Channel 76 on CCV or Channel 64 on CBC. You can also tune in on the radio in your car, home, or office at 101.9 FM. And please be sure to download the Guadalupe Media radio app from Google Play or the App Store. Our Blessed Mother, lead us to Jesus.